You rock, man. So I think you have a ton to teach. You know, this is what I know about you. You've bought and sold a lot of businesses. You bought and sold a lot of houses. You buy like 20 to 30 houses every month, which is phenomenal. And I think that you teach people and help people along the way is what I've seen. I've seen where you're helping kids, seen where you're helping these guys. You know, it's like
we help each other.
Awesome.
We help each other.
But it's great, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe introduce a little about, what do you say? Who are you?
Yeah. So exactly what you said. Basically, since I was really, even before I was a teenager, I started making money just selling different things. When I became 15, I started my first business that did really well and just kept acquiring more businesses and grew my businesses. And then, you know, eventually in my early 20s, I started getting into real estate. And I primarily made most of my money in businesses. I've had, you know, hundreds of businesses throughout my lifetime, but I've always done real estate at the same time. And I would just do real estate for more passive income. Okay. And as I just had extra money or had extra time, I would just find some good deals, buy it, had a lot of rentals. Eventually got into fix and flipping and multifamily and other stuff. Yeah. But I always spent like 80-90% of my time on business and the rest of the time on real estate. Now, when the real estate market got really, really hot a couple different years back, 10, 15 years ago, and now again, the last couple of years, I switched and I've been spending, 50, 80, 90% of my time on real estate and 10% on business. So I go back and forth with whatever I think is going to make the most money and whatever is going to be the most fun for me. And typically the thing that's the most fun for me is the thing that's going to make the most money. So
Nice. So then, so what would be like, what's like a business that you enjoy owning?
I honestly enjoy owning businesses that, don't take much of my time and make a lot of money. So, there's businesses I've had that I thought would be my funnest businesses that I would really, really love. And they took more of my time and they didn't make as much money as some of the businesses that I didn't think I would enjoy as much, but they made more money and I ended up enjoying those businesses more. So you tend to just enjoy what, you do better with. It's weird like that because you would think that you enjoy what you enjoy, but you tend to get pushed to enjoy the stuff that you do better with.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you also have a mastermind that you do, right?
Yeah.
For businesses. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little about that?
Yeah. So twice a year I do a business mastermind. They're 3-day full 10-hour days that I do them in various places. And I go through from A to Z, everything you could possibly want to know about business, why it's better to buy businesses than to start up businesses. And of course I do start up a lot of businesses, but there are very specific reasons. Okay. And that's like, 5% of what people should do. 95% should be, buying other people's businesses. I go through why and all the different things. And I go through, really how to find the businesses, how to value the businesses, how to grow the businesses, and how to run these businesses without you having to be there all the time and setting people in place. And then of course, the most important thing is I teach how to get these businesses very creatively, meaning that you don't have to use really any of your own money or very little of your own money most of the time to buy these businesses. And, I talk about very profitable businesses. So the business that I'm buying, are $1 million plus businesses that cash flow really, really well. And, once you put the systems in place, you could buy these businesses without using any of your money or very little of your own money. And you could also do it without spending too much of your time on it. Typically, when you first get the business, you need to spend a little bit more time on it. Yeah. But once you got it, to where it runs, you really don't have to. I have dozens of businesses right now, and I literally spend not even 2 hours a week on every business put together. Wow. So, it's very possible. And, that's kind of what I do.
That's awesome. So do you enjoy real estate more or business more or what?
So I'm going to go back to what I said earlier because that is a great question. So when real estate is slow and it's just hard to fix and flip and hard to do stuff, I love business way more. Okay. When real estate is so hot where it's just so easy to just buy stuff, sell it, make crazy amounts of money, then I like real estate a little bit more. So right now, I'm the last year or two, I've been liking real estate a little bit more, but 90% of the time, I like business more. Okay. Business, you could just make so much more money in business. Right. So like, and all my rental properties and all these different, different things I have, Airbnbs and rooming homes and all this stuff in real estate, I'm able to make $300, $400, sometimes even a few thousand, $5,000 a month in cash flow per each property. And some of my commercial properties, I have even a bigger cash flow, 10, 15, 20,000 a month. But in a lot of my businesses, I have $100,000 plus cash flow per business. So per month. Wow. So it's just a bigger number. So it's more exciting.
Wow. What would you, so if you were, let's say you were starting out and you were going to tackle your first business, kind of what was some guidelines you have? Let's say you don't have any money.
Yeah. Really. So I wouldn't worry about necessarily having money. You just got to find good businesses that are, good deals. What I always say is if you get a good deal, it doesn't matter if it's business, if it's real estate, if it's really anything. If you have a good deal, it's very easy to find the money to do the deal because there's always people out there that have extra money to invest on good deals. There's plenty of people that have, doctors, lawyers, just have regular jobs that aren't investors and they have all this extra money and they don't know what to do with it. So it's not that hard to find those people if you have good deals. Now, if you don't have good deals, it's super hard. So just find the good deals. Don't worry about the money. The money will come. So that's kind of how I look at it when I talk about it. But if I was starting and I didn't know what I wanted to do or anything, what I tell people is to figure out what business you want to get into is first figure out what you have some knowledge in. So what have you done before in your life? Have you worked for anybody? Do you know about this business, this industry? Find an industry that you know a little bit about. It'll make it a little bit easier. And then of course, if you should always find a business that you could have someone that helps you. So if you don't know much about it, maybe you have some friends or mentors or parents or someone that could guide you in that type of business. So I would go after a business that people could help you with. Those are probably the two things. Then if someone's like, well, I have no idea, I don't have any, guidance. I don't know what businesses, I don't really know much about anything, which I believe everybody knows something about something, although if you really think about it, but let's just say for some reason you can't figure it out. Then I would say, you know what? Figure out what you hate doing. Figure out what you don't like doing. Delete all that stuff. And then let's look at everything else. So, it's just a bunch of different ways to look at it, but each person is a little different and everybody's going to find something that's better fit for them.
Yeah. So what would you do? Would you go and start knocking on doors of businesses or what would you do?
I wouldn't go start knocking on doors first. I would first go and do like a research of what type of businesses I want to go after and what areas I want to go after, right? Because there's businesses all over the country. There's businesses in different states, different cities. Like, do you want to have businesses in your city, your state, or do you mind going all over the country or maybe in even other countries? So figure out that first. And, there's pluses and minuses for everything. And then once you do that, I would make a list and maybe I would go onto Google and there's other different places that you could go onto to get these types of lists. But I just start with Google. It's free, easy. Everyone knows how to do it. And just Google every single business that you're interested in those cities you're interested in, make a spreadsheet, and then just start, knocking them off from that spreadsheet. Maybe I would send the owners emails. Maybe I'd send them letters. Maybe I would connect with them on social media, whether it's LinkedIn or other social medias. And then, you can go around to the businesses and talk to some people too. But, when you get into bigger businesses, it's harder to talk to, or to find and talk to these people. But there's a lot of different ways that I talk about how to get to the right person.
Yeah. Interesting. So how do you, so I know you talk a lot about building rapport and that makes a lot of sense to me. Cause you really kind of have to understand where people are coming from to figure out what works for everybody. So like, how do you go from that first call to like actually get a chance to build rapport?
Yeah. So rapport, by the way, is the absolute most important thing in any type of deal with business. I mean, it's important in real estate as well, but with business, it's just so important for many reasons. First off, you're buying someone's business. Their business is like their baby and they want someone to buy it and take care of it because, I'm buying business from people that have had it for decades and they're at their business more than they're at their home. And they, they love their employees like they're their kids. They love their, customers and the reputation is there. Like they want their reputation to go on forever. So they want to make sure someone that's very, a good person is going to buy it and take good care of it. So it's very important to have really, really good rapport with a buyer, but there's a lot of different ways to get rapport and, you want to figure out a little bit about that person and just basically, do what you have to do to make him like you. And, you agree with them, you compliment them, you talk about, their business, how good it is, there's all kinds of stuff. Basically, the more you talk good about someone, the more you compliment different things, the more they're going to like you. It's very, very hard to not like someone that compliments you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So then, so when you say it's their baby, it is. and it seems to me like my dad had quite a few businesses, and I've had a couple, and there's also like in the stuff that I've seen, people have wanted more for their businesses than they were able to get to because you're never done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you ever find that people are willing to sell you the business because you see their vision and you want to continue it?
100%. I think that over half the reason why people sell their businesses is because they like the person they're selling it to.
Okay.
I've actually bought businesses from people that have gotten higher offers from other people.
Yeah.
And they would rather sell it to me because they know that I'm going to, I have the same vision as them and I'm going to take care of their business. I'm going to keep their reputation good, where other people might just strip their business and do something different with it. For
assets or whatever, right?
For their assets, or they might get rid of their employees or whatever. I when I buy a business, I want to keep everything in place. I want to keep all their employees. Or I don't want to change that much, I'm buying a profitable business. Why do I want to change anything? I'm going to change small stuff eventually, but the main core stuff that they have that's working, I need to keep.
Yeah. So now why? So when you say you're buying profitable businesses, which makes total sense, why do people sell?
Yeah. Why do people sell? There's a million reasons why people sell. Why do people sell properties? That's such a good deal. Why can't they get more? It's the same thing. Basically, I have a dozen really, really good reasons why people sell. There's even more than that. Okay. But this should go through the top most important ones that I target is a lot of times people, are getting old and they need to retire. And at some point you can't work anymore. So those are some of the key people I go after, people that are, in that retirement age. Okay. And typically these people that have in retirement age that are selling their, that need to retire, they can't leave it to their kids because their kids aren't interested in it. They're not super sexy businesses. People, the younger kids these days want something that's more, hip, hip at the time. And a lot of these businesses that I'm buying aren't very sexy businesses. So they don't have someone to leave them to. So they need to sell them. Like the option is either to close it or to sell it. Like what other option do they have? Or keep running it, but they're old. They don't want to run it. They're tired. They're done. So retirement's a big one. Okay. Another one's people get sick. People get sick. They get in the hospital. They can't run it anymore. And if they don't find someone else to run it, then it's going to go to nothing. And they'd rather sell it while it's still good than having to just let it go. And they maybe they're not good at hiring someone to do what they did. And they just, a lot of people, have had one business their whole life and they don't know about businesses. I've had hundreds of businesses, so I know all these different tricks, but most people, you don't know what you don't know. If you've never done it, how do you get good at something? By doing it over and over and over again. Well, a lot of these people have never done it. So they haven't got good at it. But again, so people that are sick, that's a good person to target. Okay. I love buying stuff off people that are having like family issues, like divorce. Okay. So I've bought multiple businesses from people going through a divorce and they're not at the right state of mind as far as just running the business. But besides that, they're also, when they go through divorce, they have to split everything with their spouse. And sometimes it's very hard to figure out a fair value because one spouse is going to be like, it's worth this much. The other spouse is going to be worth this much. And the person that's always ending up, keeping the business is the one that gets stuck with the high value. So they're like, you know what? Let's just sell it. And that's what it's worth. Yeah. So I get a lot of deals from divorce and family problems like that. A lot of people don't live in the same house forever, right? They move. Maybe they're moving to a different state or a different city. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable running their business if they're not there, which is crazy because if you know how to do it, there's no problem. Right. But again, you know what you know. You're going to do what you're comfortable with. Yeah. So a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. So a lot of businesses I'm able to buy from people that are moving out of town and they just don't feel like to run it. So now what's their options again? Shutting it down or selling it. And then, of course, there's so many other reasons. Another good reason that I bought a lot of businesses from people are maybe their business is making $200,000 a year, right? That's great to make $200,000 a year. There's nothing wrong with making $200,000 a year, but maybe they have an opportunity to do something else that's making $500,000 a year. So why should they stay in the $200,000 business when they could go and make $500,000 in another business they just got rid of? But they can't do both at the same time. Right. So what are they going to do? Shut it down or sell it? Yeah. Or maybe it's nothing to do with money. Yeah. Maybe they have a better opportunity where they want to live. Maybe they're living in some city that they're sick of the weather. They don't like the area anymore and they can move across town or across the country or wherever. Right. And just have a better life, you know? And if they feel that that's going to, be better for them, then why stay here and be stuck when they can go somewhere else? So there's better opportunity, but again, there's a lot more. Those are probably some of the main ones that I see.
Yeah, I totally see that, especially the sick one. Cause then, a lot of times the way healthcare costs are, they may need the money then.
Oh yeah.
Too.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, another good one I see is, people have been running their business for a long time, and every year they do a little bit better, and then sometimes they plateau and they just can't do better anymore. And they're like, you know what? I feel like I'm failing my business. Like I feel like someone that has more energy or more, something could come and grow the business, and that's going to help my employees, my customers. And maybe you're the right person because I see you have so many businesses. You've grown all these other businesses. Maybe you know something I don't know, and I think it's time to pass the torch on and let you take it over and see what you could do with it.
Do you ever partner with current
tons of people,
businesses, owners?
Yes.
Yeah.
I probably have more partners than anybody you know.
Okay.
So I have tons and tons of businesses. I've had over 70 something partners in my lifetime, and I have a ton of partners right now in all different types of businesses and in even real estate transactions.
Wow. Well, that's kind of mind blowing to me. All of that. So do you think it's possible that if a person just starting out, and that they could do one deal and have that be their primary income, enough to pay their bills, like right off first business?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you do one deal with one business. Now, the businesses that I target are businesses that are making 6 figures, 7 figures, or 8 figures. Like I don't even target stuff making less than 6 figures. It's a waste of time.
And that's profit, right?
Profit, net, profit. Yeah, not gross. Okay. So, if you're buying something that's making less than 6 figures,
right?
I mean, you're pretty much going to be buying a job more or less because it's just not making enough, and you're going to be working, and it's just you can't hire the best people. So you want to, I target businesses that are making hundreds of thousands or millions, if not tens of millions. So yeah, I mean, can you live off that?
Yeah. I could.
Yeah, and that's just one deal, and you could grow, you could do more, you could find other businesses, but yeah, I mean, sometimes people are content with just making X because they want to have a certain amount of freedom in their life, a lot, and they don't want to have to work as much, and some people want to make a lot more and work a little bit more, and there's not really a right or wrong. Everyone's different.
That seems intriguing to me because I think it would be a lot hard. I think it's still possible. I think it'd be a lot harder to do that on one real estate deal. Is that true?
For sure. It's definitely a lot harder to do on one real estate deal if the real estate deal is a single family or townhome or condo. But I mean, potentially if you're buying like some massive shopping center or some massive apartment complex, then maybe it's a little bit possible. But for the most part, I'm mostly doing single family and doing like smaller type, real estate stuff. And even the shopping centers I buy that aren't super big. Right. Yeah. I mean, you can make some money on them, but like, I mean, with a business, it's just, you could just keep making more unlimited because you could get more customers. You could buy other businesses that are similar to yours, competitors, and then just take over and grow exponentially a lot faster.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. So what was your first business?
So my first business that I had that like I consider my first business, although I've had other stuff that wasn't, I made money on it, but I wouldn't say it's my first real business was in sports cards. So I sold baseball cards and football cards, and this is when I was 15. And back then, this is back in like 1989. I had the Prodigy was like the big thing online, and there was different groups in Prodigy. And there were sports cards groups, and I could go on there and see what people had for sale, see what people were buying. And I used to go around to shows, baseball card shows every single weekend, and buy stuff that I know I could sell online during the week. And I would sell stuff that, I was able to buy cheap online that was hot in my market because, I lived in Atlanta back then, and people loved the Braves. They were going through a really hot streak. And so I would just buy all Braves players and all these different hot, local players from the West Coast and all these other, no one cared about them. And you buy them cheap and then sell them here. And I mean, I just grew and grew because I actually was one of the first people that got really, really big on the internet and selling and buying on the internet back before a lot of people did it. So I had a big advantage, and I would just go to the shows and I knew what to buy and what to sell based on where I was at.
So you were getting, do you think you were getting, you had that, so you had pretty good margin, it sounds like. And what do you think was the key to that margin? Was it that you were selling it online and that the other people that when you were buying it were not online? Or what do you think was the key to the
So there were two big reasons why I had a big margin. Well, first off, because I took advantage of the internet back then that a lot of people didn't know about or wasn't using the right way. So I was always first to see everything. That's why I get so much real estate deals too, by the way. Literally, I buy most of my deals on Facebook Facebook, like different real estate groups. And every single time someone posts a deal, I'm like first to respond. So like if someone has a good deal, I get it right away.
Okay.
If someone posts a good deal and you're not first to respond, you're just never going to get a good deal because someone's going to buy it.
Yeah.
You'll see all the shitty deals.
Yeah.
So the same thing with sports cards. Anytime someone posted stuff for sale and I knew it was a good price, I literally was able to buy it like instantly.
Okay.
So I was first to everything. But besides that, I was very quick.
Yeah.
So if somebody brought me a deal, let's say, at a baseball card show, I could look through a collection of 1,000 cards and give someone a price and buy it instantly. I didn't have to like think about it. I didn't have to, I never second guessed myself. I just knew what I thought it was worth and I would just buy it. And so being able to be just very decisive and fast and, using, methods that other people were just starting to learn. Definitely gave me a big advantage. And then of course I knew, I would travel to different cities and different states. And I knew like when I used to go to Minnesota, bring all my Kirby Puckett cards, when I went to, Atlanta, bring all my Dave Justice and, Ron Gant. So, I just knew how to get the most for everything.
That's crazy. So that's so key. So I go and I see deals come up on Facebook, I'm in Nashville and I see like this Nashville group that, people post stuff, wholesalers. Yeah. So they post it. I go look at it. I'm trying to comp it. I'm worrying about it. Mm-hmm. I delay. And guess what?
I buy every good deal.
And you buy it.
I buy every good deal because I don't. I look at it and within like literally less than a minute, I know if I want to buy it.
Wow.
And I don't second guess it. I mean, will I make some mistakes? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're going to make some mistakes, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake is not buying the best deals. So like, it's okay to screw up on a couple and maybe not make money or you lose a little bit or make a little bit, but like you're going to miss all the really good ones if you can't like know how to comp, like knowing how to comp and knowing that you're safe and knowing that it's a good deal is super important. So you gotta get really, really good at comping if you're doing real estate.
So how do you get that confidence in comping or anything? It doesn't even have to be real estate, but valuing something if you haven't already sold a bunch of it.
Repetition. I mean, the more and more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. But, before you've done it a lot, shadow people, kind of like go into, your house one night and just spend hours like pulling up a bunch of real estate or pulling up a bunch of baseball cards and figuring out like what you think it's worth and then going and checking it against their comps. Are you right? Or are you not right? I could literally in Atlanta, you could send me an address and I don't even need to comp it anymore. Like you send me the address, I know what that city is right worth. I know what they're worth as far as, what they'll sell for fixed up, what they'll sell for not fixed up. For like 85% of the deals that they send me, I don't even have to really comp it because I know the second I see it, does it even make sense? So anything I know doesn't make sense, I'll just delete. And then the stuff that I know makes sense, I'll just buy. And the stuff that's like a little questionable, I'll spend a few minutes on. But for the most part, I'll know right away. I'll know by city, by zip code, and I'll just, I what I need is I need the address. Yeah. I need good pictures. Yeah. And I need to know what the person wants for it. If with those three things, I could buy stuff right away.
Okay. So that points out exactly what, I don't know if other people have this issue, but my issue, right? So what you said was repetition. You got to do it, right? I've only done it a little. I mean, am I playing or what?
No,
right? I mean, I should be doing it.
Yeah, I mean, every single person started by not doing it. Yeah, because the first deal I did, I never did one before. Yeah, and then the second deal, I only did one. But it's just everyone starts at the bottom, and you just got to get better and better and better. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah, the best people in the world weren't good when they first started at what they're good at now.
See, and that's what. So then I personally I have an REI reply set up, and to go after pre-foreclosures, that kind of thing. And I gotta say, to be truthful, open and honest, I'm not doing the work, right?
That's very, very important. So you could learn as much as you could possibly learn. Like you could buy every program, you could go to and talk to every single person. They can teach you everything. But if you don't do anything with it, there's so many people that just get scared and they just want to keep learning. So they know so much shit, but you know what? It doesn't matter how much you know if you don't do it. You're just not. And
I do get scared because then, so when I see a Facebook listing or if I have a seller that comes up and I start talking to them, I either delay and don't take action or I give up too easy, like with the seller, like, oh, I don't want to mess up his life or whatever.
I'm aggressive. I'm aggressive. Yeah. You send me something and I tell you I want it. If you don't respond back to me, I'm going to
going to go after it again.
Like every 15 minutes, like I haven't heard back from you. What's going on? Are you sending me the contract? Like I'm going to stay on top of somebody. And I do the same thing with everything.
Yeah.
If someone's rehabbing my house and they tell me it's going to be done by a certain time, I'll go there. What's not going on? What's going on? Yeah. I'll stay on top of them. Or I have people in my office or someone that works for me stay on top of everybody. You know, you got to stay on top of people because, what I learned long time ago, if you just tell somebody to do something, you don't follow back up, it's never going to get done.
Yeah.
But every single time it doesn't get done, you bug them every 30 minutes. They're going to be sick of hearing from you. They're either going to do it or they're going to say, fuck you, I'm never going to do it. And then I just, so I'm going to know right away, they're going to either get it done or I know that they're worthless and I can't do it. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. That's awesome.
But what you were saying earlier was, sometimes I'm scared or sometimes I'm not sure of myself.
Yeah.
So basically every single course that I've seen and what I teach also is mindset and is so important. So if the reason why people are scared and the reason why people don't want to pull the trigger and do these things is really, it's all in their head. There's nothing else. Like once you get your mind straight and you believe in yourself and you know you can do it and you see other people that are in the same boat as you or worse than you or better that all done it, it'll make you be able to understand that you could do it too. But there's a whole thing on mindset. Like you got to get your mind right. If your mind's not right, I mean, what can you possibly do? You're never going to be successful in anything.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, because I do have that fear and I do have that thing that I'm like, man, I don't want to mess up. I don't have much money. I don't want to mess up with what I have and then be screwed.
Well, you take smart risk. You know, you don't risk everything you have in one deal. Like you take, Yeah. So as long as you take, the risk that you could able to afford and take smart risk, like, look, what are my odds of being able to be successful if I do this, and you just weigh it out and you don't do stupid stuff, try not to do stupid stuff.
So now, so starting out like me, I feel like what I need to do is wholesale a bunch of stuff to get some cash up, to make it easier to do the buy and hold kind of thing. What do you recommend? Like that's my thoughts of what I need to do, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would say any person that starts off in real estate that doesn't have a whole lot of money or doesn't, doesn't have like the crews to do fix and flips, all this other stuff. 100%, they should just get into wholesaling. First of all, they'll learn a lot from it. They'll learn how to deal, how to talk to sellers. They'll learn how to negotiate. They'll learn how to comp because if you're not doing any deals, then you're not comping because you got to get better and better. So you learn so much stuff. And then, you could build up money. You could, get your $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 assignment fees, build it up and then do something different. So a lot of the most successful people that I know in real estate are wholesalers because you don't need that much to, money or you don't need that much. And plus you could, JV with people and work together and help each other. Like you might JV with someone that is really good at something you're not good at. You might be really good at something they're not good at. And then together, boom, you just have it. And either one of you can't make much money on your own, but together you can make a lot
do better.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm kind of excited. I kind of like, I still, I'm a programmer and I really like doing my job and I probably will always, just cause it's my thing. But like, but I have this, I know that I need to invest and I feel like real estate is a great way to do that. I also really like the buying businesses thing. I've always thought about businesses as, that, the ones that like I started. And it's like, okay, this is something I want to do. This is something my baby, and I try to grow it and all that kind of stuff. But that's a lot riskier. I mean, the two businesses I tried.
Super risky to start your own business.
I didn't end up really that successful.
No. So crazy enough, over 50% of businesses go out of business and lose money within the first year they open.
Wow.
Within 10 years, 90% of businesses went out of business.
Yeah.
So it's very bad odds to start your own business unless you just are super, super confident that this is going to be a good business. So buying somebody else's business is 100% the way to go because you could buy businesses that have track records for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. Yeah. And once a business has been around and made it to that 5, 10 year mark, the odds are they're going to be,
they're doing something right.
Yeah, they're doing something right. And you could grow off that. You can still make it your baby.
Yeah.
And you could take all their knowledge and then just, expand and grow from there.
Yeah, that's true. That makes a lot of sense.
The only businesses that I even actually open myself, which I do open a lot, which again, most people shouldn't. But the ones that I open are, they're very specific. I open ones that don't exist in my area. Right. And I come up with these really new hot fads that maybe don't exist, or maybe they exist in other states, other countries. And I bring them to my cities that I want to open them in. So I can't buy that business because they don't exist. Right. So those are the types of businesses that I would start if I start businesses. But if I want to open a business that already exists, I'm going to go buy somebody else's existing business, whether it's, any type of business, a clothing store, auto body shop, a sign company, a restaurant. It doesn't matter if there's tons of those all around. Don't open one. Buy one that's established, that's making a lot of money. And, you could save so much money by doing it, besides the fact that you're going to make money day one. When you open your own business, you have to spend so much money doing everything. You could literally have everything done for you and get the financing to not even have to spend any of your money on an existing business a lot easier than to starting your own business, own business.
That's interesting. So maybe instead of trying to learn wholesaling, I should buy a wholesaling business.
That is definitely a possibility to look into.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Huh. So if you want to buy a business and you're new, you go out and you find somebody who has a good track record. So let's say auto body shop, like you mentioned. Yeah. How much competition do you usually have for buying that business?
So you're saying how many people actually want to buy the business for sale?
At the same time that you are.
Man, so I love that question. So this is such a good question. Should I tell you why? Because you're in the real estate world, so you're thinking real estate.
A lot of competition in real estate, right?
Right. So it's 100% exactly the opposite. Okay. So for real estate, every time a house gets listed, especially if it's a hot market, there's 100 people trying to buy each house, right? Yeah. So for every one house, there's 100 people trying to buy it. In business, it's opposite. Wow. For every single 100 businesses that are out for sale, there's one person trying to buy one of those 100 businesses. Really? So the competition is drastically lower. So it's a lot easier to work a deal with the person. And the other thing that's crazy different between business and real estate is 99% plus of real estate deals that are sold for cash, or the person that's selling gets all the money up front. Right. And in business, 99% of businesses do not get all the money up front. No, they have to do some sort of owner finance, whether it's 10%, 20%, 50%. People that are buying a business expect a certain amount of owner finance. So it's depending on how motivated the seller is, it's the same thing. In real estate,
creative finance is kind of built in.
It's built in. I mean, it's the same in real estate and business. You got to go after motivated people. If you don't go after a motivated person, right, it's just, you're not going to get a good deal. You're not going to get good terms. Yeah. So you got to find motivated people no matter what. Yeah. But a motivated person in business will give you great terms. I mean, I've bought businesses where I've put zero money down and cash flow from day one. I've put, where I've put 50%, 80%, 20%. You could find the deals if you find the motivated people. And especially with a business, again, the options are selling it or shutting it down if they're moving, or if they're retiring, or if they're getting sick, right? Yeah. So those are the options. So when they're on the market, I wait if it's an on-market property, which I buy. I try to buy mostly off-market properties like I do in real estate. Yeah. I try to do the same thing in business, try to buy off-market businesses. But if I buy, and when I buy on-market businesses, which I do, right, I wait for them to be on the market 10 months, 12 months plus, because that makes somebody super motivated. Right. Because at that point, their options are either to shut it down or to sell it. So I know that I have a big upper hand, because at that point, they've had 10 months of trying to sell it plus, and nobody wants it, or nobody wants to pay them their price, or nobody is going to agree to their terms because their terms aren't good. So when I come in, they know, look, I'm their last shot. Yeah. They gotta either give me the price or the terms. And I don't even really try to get people down on price that much. Yeah. I really just try to get the terms the way I want it. Okay. I would rather pay somebody everything that they want, every penny that they want, and get my terms, because most people just see that the price they're getting and don't realize the terms. Yeah. And for me, when I'm buying a business or buying real estate, the terms are really much better, much more important than the actual price.
That makes a lot of sense to me, because when people talk about buying a house and then they get seller financing, and then they get seller financing at 0%, that's huge.
That's like paying half price. That's paying half the price, right? Because if you were to get a regular loan these days, over a 30-year amortized loan, you're paying double what you're actually paying. So you might be paying $150,000 for the house, but in 30, you're paying over 300.
Yeah.
So if I could pay 200 with no interest, this person is like, holy shit, I just got 50,000 more than it's worth.
Yeah.
But really you're paying 100,000 less than you would have paid. So it's all psychological. Some people are not good at math. Some people don't understand the difference.
But I think also, do you think, I think the people that I've known that were business owners and they sold their business, they kind of have their ego attached to the price.
100%.
When they talk about, oh, you sold your business.
Yeah.
How much did you sell it for?
Yeah.
They don't say, what was the term?
Yeah, 100%. So, and I'm happy you brought that up because I'll give you a few examples to even elaborate more on that. Yeah. So, if someone says, what'd you sell your business for? They're, it was only worth 150, but I got 200,000 for it. They're thinking like, wow, this person, they look good. They look good to their friends.
It makes them feel good.
Let's talk about businesses that are not good. Let's talk about businesses that are going out of business. That are losing money. That are not doing good.
Yeah.
Is it worth buying those types of businesses? So I would say this.
Yeah.
There's a few reasons why it's really worth buying those businesses, and there's a few reasons why you should stay the hell away.
Okay.
So the few reasons why you would buy a business that's just losing money is, first off, maybe that the person running it doesn't know what they're doing, and you know something about that business that you can go in there and turn it around. Mm-hmm. That is not super likely, but there are people that are really good at doing that. So if you're the type of person that can do that, that would be a type of business that you can buy.
Yeah.
The reason why I would buy a business that is losing money is because I have other businesses that are similar in the same industry, and I know that by taking that business over, even though it's losing money now, maybe I won't run that business in that same location. Maybe I'll just take that business and merge it into my other business, and I'll just get all their inventory at a really big discount, and then I'll get all their customers. Their customers are worth more to me than anything else. So if you are not in the industry, the customers are worthless to you because you can't use them. But I could use those customers.
Yeah.
So for instance, I've done this with lots of businesses, but I'll just give you a quick example so everybody understands what I'm talking about. Let's say I have a gym that charges $150 a month. Okay. And I have however many members, and that's how much money I have coming in, $150 a month. Let's say there's another gym a mile away that also charges $150 a month, but they're losing money because maybe their rent's too high, or maybe their their costs are too high. They don't have enough members to sustain everything. Well, what if I buy that business that's losing money, that gym, and say, you know what? Our gyms are similar. How about I just pay you, X. I could liquidate and sell other equipment, or use the equipment in my gym that I need. And then, you know what? There are 100 customers that they have. Now I just got 100 times $150 a month coming in. That's free money that I don't even have the expenses that they have, because I'm getting rid of their rent. I don't need the extra coaches and stuff because I already have them in my place. So now it's 100% profit. So that other business, they were losing money because they had rent and all, but I could get rid of all. So I could get rid of a lot of their expenses and just take their assets.
Because you already had all your fixed expenses.
My fixed expenses are there, and it might go up a little bit, but not substantial. So that's an example of with a gym. I've done that with other businesses as well that sell merchandise and different things like that. But that's just so everyone could explain. So that's a second reason why you would buy a business that's losing money. The third reason why I would say you should buy a business that's losing money is because you can buy it cheap enough to where you could shut the business down. And just liquidate all the inventory for more than you have to pay them for this. So let's say this person wants, $20,000 for their business. I wouldn't keep it as a business because they're losing money, but maybe I could sell all the inventory for $40,000, $50,000. So I would just shut the business down and then just liquidate it all. And maybe the person that had it is just so pissed off, so frustrated because they're losing money, they don't even want to do that. Or maybe they don't know, they don't have the same connections you have to sell it. So maybe you have better connections. So those are the three main reasons why I'd buy a business that's going out under. And the craziest thing is, think about it like this. Let's say you have a business and you're losing $50,000 a year in this business, or sometimes it could be hundreds of thousands, but whatever, you're losing a substantial amount of money. Would you rather keep that business going? Or would you rather, shut it down? You'd rather shut it down because you're instantly saving whatever you're losing by shutting it down. But sometimes it's hard to shut it down. Sometimes shutting it down costs you a lot of money. Sometimes you have to, move all the inventory out. You have to, maybe
you have contracts.
Maybe you have contracts. All kinds. So it costs a lot of money to shut it down. So if you could sell me your business for $1, you're actually making money. Because you don't have to have all the expenses of shutting it down. And now I'm taking over the responsibility. And the reason why I'm buying your shitty business is because of all the reasons we just talked about before. So
because it has more value to you.
It has more value to me than it would to you. And let's talk about another reason why. So the reason why I mentioned $1 is because in the United States, to legally sell something of value, you have to have consideration. And the minimum consideration in the United States is $1. So if you were to, someone can't just give you, can't gift you. Well, if it's your family potentially, but if you're trying to buy a piece of real estate and it's just not worth anything, you still got to pay $1 for it. So, and you know, a lot of times it just says in the contract, I paid $1 for it. Maybe you didn't really pay the $1, but it shows that you paid $1 for it. So the reason why that is in every contract is because it's not legally binding. If the person ever wants to come back and say, look, you didn't pay me for it, it's mine. And then maybe you grew it and maybe it's better now.
Why would I have signed this contract?
They might could take it. They might could take it.
That was an unfair contract.
But if it shows $1 in there, now it's legally binding. So so let's look at it like from this standpoint, because you were just talking about this, so I'm gonna bring this up. You're like, man, you know, sometimes what I hear about my friends, they say they sold their business. They're like, you know what? I got 200,000 instead of 150 what it's worth. So how about think about it like this? Let's say your business is doing really bad. Maybe your friends don't know it's doing bad because you know you're good at hiding it. You don't want to be embarrassed and tell them. So let's say your options now are to shut the business down. Or to keep losing money on it. You don't. We already established you don't want to keep losing money on it. You don't know how to turn it around, so you got to sell it. So, or shut it down. But nobody wants to buy it. So why would you sell it for $1? You would sell it for $1 for a bunch of reasons we just talked about, because you don't have to worry about getting rid of it. But another big reason why you would sell it for $1 is because now you can tell your friends, you know what? I sold my business.
That's a lot better story.
You know, you don't have to go to your friends and say, you know what?
I
lost my ass. I shut the business down. It was terrible. But if you were able to sell it, you don't have to tell people how much you sold it for. Look, the business wasn't for me. I have some other ventures, but you know what? I got someone to buy. I sold my business.
You're right.
How much more are you going to feel good about yourself?
A lot.
If you could tell your friends, look, I'm not a loser. I didn't shut my business. And not if you shut your business, you're not a loser. I mean, it happens all the time. I've shut plenty of businesses down.
Happened to me.
But but you feel like a loser.
You do.
So if you could just tell your friends that you sold your business, they don't have to know how much. Even if you got $1 for it, you just will feel so much better about yourself. A lot of people will do that just for that reason.
That makes a lot of sense. Man, so really, you come at it. You're coming at it from a help, aren't you? Like probably from call one. Like, how can I help you?
Depends on the situation. If it's a distressed business, 100%. If it's a really good business, then, and mostly I buy just really good businesses, I look for what's motivating them to want to sell it. I look for, are they retiring? I look for, are they getting divorced? I look for, are they moving? I look for, you know, different things that are going to trigger me to be like, you know what, this is a great person to buy from because they're super motivated. So once I see their motivation, if I can't find the motivation, I don't spend a lot of time on it because
they're not really motivated.
They're not motivated, which it's going to make it a very hard deal to do. It's good. Now I've approached people that weren't motivated. And they weren't even thinking about selling their business. And all of a sudden, 6 months, 12 months later, like, you know what? I remember you called me a year ago. And so sometimes it's good just to throw a seed and give them your name and number, and then they'll call you back when they're ready.
Keep it in the back of their mind. Maybe situations change.
And because I brought it up, now they got a little bit motivated over time, where they probably never would have been if I never brought it up. So, you know, it's sometimes it's follow up, just like on real estate. You know, you don't buy the deal the first time you call someone. The same thing.
So how many times do you think you have contact with a business owner generally before you buy a business?
As many times as you need to. If it's someone that's super motivated, you could do it with you know, very few contacts. But if it's someone that, you know, needs some time or has other things they're thinking about, so, you know, I've bought businesses from people a year or 2 years after I started talking to them. Or longer.
Okay. Wow. So then how do you find like those relationships? Does that end up turning into, like, a lot of business owners have more than one business? Does it end up turning into other things down the line, or not so much? So definitely. There's a lot of business owners that I've become really good friends with, and I've done lots of other deals with. I've actually partnered with some people. I bought their business, and I partnered with them on other businesses that they've done. But most of the businesses that I buy, people pretty much only own that business. Or they might have like 2 or 3 locations, but it's the same type of business. I don't buy stuff typically from people that have tons and tons of different businesses. Those are a little bit trickier type of people to deal with because they're a little bit smarter. They know their stuff a little bit better. They're less motivated, or they know how to trick you more, right? Gotcha. So people that have their business that have had long term and they put everything into it and that's their baby. You know, it is what it is. You know, we do a lot of due diligence so I could find the different things they could trick you on. But someone that has a ton of businesses, they know how to mess around with the books. They know how to mess around with all different types of things. It's a lot easier for them to trick you. And
those are people that I would call serial entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And those are the people that, you know, have different types of motivation that I don't necessarily want to buy from than other people. Now I do buy from those types of people some, but it's you're not going to get as good of a deal.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to be as motivated. So you just got to be a little bit more, you know, careful and do a lot more due diligence with those type of people.
So they might show in their books a certain profit, but it may not really be a profit because maybe they pushed things this year, things that
and
year.
Anytime I look at anyone's books, for the most part, 90% of people have books I've looked at, there's always issues and there's always stuff we have to look at and fix. And I'm always gonna have a lot of questions and stuff that doesn't make sense. And we always get to the you know, the real numbers.
Yeah.
But someone that's had their business for a long time, that has one business, it's going to be a little bit easier to explain, and they're not going to, you know, purposely try to fake as much stuff.
Right.
Where people that are serial entrepreneurs, they know how to make their books look good, so when they're selling it, they can get the most money.
Yeah. So do you find that people, those people that you like to buy businesses from, or do you find that they're pretty open and transparent when you're buying a business, or do you kind of get?
I mean, I've seen everything. I've seen everything, but I would say most of the people that I've bought businesses from are pretty open.
Yeah.
People that are motivated, that really want to sell it. There's people that are like skeptical. The skeptical people that aren't super motivated are the ones that might not be as open. Okay. But if they like, you know, again, you have to build that good rapport from the first day you talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, and then once I have that good rapport, they're pretty open. And, you know, I'll look at what what college they went to, and I'll talk about how their college is cool, or you're a Falcons fan. Oh man, I love the Falcons. You know, I'll talk about stuff that we both, you know, whether I like them or not, I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to figure out what you like, and I'm going to say, look, I like them too. And we're going to have that instant bond. If we went to the same school together, we're going to have a bond. Yeah. If we like the same team, we're going to have a bond. Okay. If we go eat at the same restaurant together, if we were born in the same hospital, we're going to have a bond. If we both have, you know, 2 daughters and a son, we're going to have a bond. If we both have whatever, the more connections and the more stuff to make us similar. Yeah. The bigger bond we're going to have, you're going to like me more. People like people that are very similar to them. So I try to make myself as similar to the sellers that I possibly could, or the most coincidence and the most things that are the same. And that's how you really build rapport. That's one way to build rapport. There's a million ways. And again, you're always super polite. You're nice to them. You compliment them. I mean, I compliment people like unbelievably a lot because it's just, first of all, it's just as easy to compliment them as not, and it just makes somebody feel good. Right. But besides making someone feel good, you know, they're gonna like you more.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I always try to make people, you know, feel better. Like even on Facebook, right? It's stupid, but I go around, and anytime I read a post, I like their post. I like their post.
I see that. You even like mine.
Yeah, I like everyone's post. You know why? Because it makes people feel good. Like I could go around and not click it, or I could click it. Right. What's the downside for me to click it? Is there a downside? Like it doesn't cost me anything. No. It doesn't really take any more time.
And it helps them.
And you know what I've noticed. So when I've been on Facebook for over 10 years or something, I never really liked people's posts until about a couple years ago. Okay. And I was like, you know, what's the point of liking a post? Right. Like, who cares? Like, does it help or not help? And then I realized some people started liking some of my posts, and I'd be like, you know, oh, that's cool. This person liked my post. And I was like, you know, I started all of a sudden liking those people a little bit more. Interesting. You know, and then when they came over to me for help, I was like, you know what? This person, you know, pays attention to me. I'm going to help them a little bit more. And then I realized, you know what? Holy shit. I'm an idiot. I'm not liking people's posts. Right? So now I just like any post I see that's positive. Yeah. Or any post that's not like something that like I just don't totally agree with. I'm just gonna like everyone's post. And just from doing that, I've had a lot more people come to me, and I don't know if it's because I like their posts, but I could tell you that a lot of people that I start liking their posts, they'll start talking to me more.
Well, maybe and
do deals with me more.
I could see it from my point of view. Maybe it's because they feel that you because somebody like yourself that's so successful. I would be, I don't know what the right trepidation. I would have trepidation to like contact you or something. So maybe with you liking their post, you're making yourself more open to people,
maybe
or more.
And the whole reason why we're talking about this liking people's posts, which seems silly, but it's not, is because again, it's a compliment in a way. It is. So it's just another way to build rapport with people that you don't even know. Yeah. So again, be as nice to people as possible. Right. You know, help people as much as possible. Yeah. Support people as much as possible. Yeah. And besides, you know, their life being better because now they're happier and they're, you know, it always comes back to help you. And, you know, you could do deals together. Yeah. People will do the same thing to you. And, you know, the more nice you are to people, people will see that you're nice to people, and then everyone will be nicer to you.
Honestly, that was why I felt like I really wanted to talk with you, is because of the way
I liked your post? Because I liked your post?
No.
See, I got this because I liked his post.
Right? But it was because of the, like, where you were showing what you had done to help kids, where you were showing how you helped people get deals, and you helped them, you partnered with people on deals.
It's fun. And, I do it because it's fun, and I love seeing this excitement and happiness of people when it happens. It's so cool. If you've ever taught people anything, what's the coolest thing when you teach people something? Seeing them be able to do it and succeed with what you've told them.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. Yeah. So I love all of that. So the business thing seems so attractive to me, honestly. And I don't know why I never thought about it really. I've always thought about business. My dad had several businesses, still does. And I tried businesses myself. I had fear and didn't start, some of them. Like one back, when the web started first being a web, right, with pictures. So I was gonna open a business. I was in Boise, Idaho at the time. I was gonna open a business to building websites for people, right? And it sounds silly now, but at the time that wasn't a thing. Really. Right. And so, I was working at Boise State, and the guy that I was working for basically controlled all the internet access for Idaho through Boise State. So I was like, okay, I want to start this business, and he wanted to start it with me to build websites and everything. But then this company Micron came out and said they were going to do it, right? And Micron's got a lot of money. Right. So I was like, oh, I can't do that. But oh my God, looking back, I should have done it.
You totally could do it.
Like, why couldn't I do it?
There's so many big businesses out there that control a huge part of an industry, but there's plenty of small ones out there that do very well in that same industry.
Yeah, because you can have a different flavor, maybe.
A different flavor, different customers. Yeah. Some people like dealing with just, little off mom and pop. Why, there's Bank of America, there's Wells Fargo, there's Chase, but then there's these little mom and pop that have 1, 2, 3. There's plenty of people that bank at them.
Like them.
But why don't they bank at Bank of America?
Right.
Some people like that difference, Yeah. Not everyone likes the same.
And they have different advantages, maybe. Maybe they can lend on things that a big bank won't.
Or maybe just that extra personal touch they can give you is important to people.
Yeah.
So there's all that stuff. But you brought up a second ago that man, I always liked business. I always wanted to do business. I never thought that I could do business. A lot of people do real estate because the real estate's talked about so much, and it's all over YouTube, it's all over the internet. But people don't realize that you could buy businesses. It's just people don't realize. Yeah. You don't learn that in school.
I didn't think about that.
No,
why?
You don't learn that in school. Most people have jobs, so they don't have their own business, so they don't know.
Right.
Most people don't have their parents that own their own business, and it's just who are you going to learn it from? Who are you going to learn it from? So unless you just stumble across someone that that has a lot of businesses that you could talk to, or that you stumble across some sort of program out there that you could buy and learn about it, how else are you going to learn about it? Again, you don't know what you don't know. Like there's no reason why you should know it because they don't teach that to you in school.
Yeah. So can I, when we post, can we put your mastermind information down?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Okay, cool.
The most important thing, make sure you follow my YouTube, Abraham Gray. If you follow my YouTube, post my YouTube all over the place. I just started it in the last few months. And basically my goal is to put out tons of really cool videos that teach people how to do better in business, teach people how to do better in real estate, teach people how to do better in life. And I'm going to show you all different techniques I've used. I'm going to show you examples. I'm going to break down all kinds of stuff. I'm going to make it super funny. Like the stuff that I put out there is not super serious. Like it's serious enough, but I have a funny component to it to where it's not hard to watch. And they're 5, 6, 7, 8 minute videos, and you'll see the title, you'll know exactly what they're about, and you just watch what you think that it interests you and will help you.
So I think for you, it's fun, right?
It's super fun.
When you go to buy a business, are you amped up? How do you feel?
Yeah, super. I love the chase. I love the negotiation. I love to see, can I make this deal happen? And it's fun. And it's fun. It's just like, if you're buying real estate, every single time you buy a new property, it's like, oh wow, I just got, it's a rush. So even today, I've bought thousands of properties over the years, but every single property I get, I still have that little bit of, oh cool, I just bought this property.
That's awesome. So money is serious, but it's also fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun because it's profitable, and I see the end results. I see how crappy they are when I get them. I see how nice they are at the end, and it's fun because you're making money. It's fun because you see the transformation from when you buy it to when you sell it. And I'm doing like 30 deals a month right now. I'm buying 30 properties a month, you know, fixing them, flipping them, or selling them to other investors. And you know, the average property that I'm buying, I think I'm making like $35,000 a month in profit on.
Okay.
And that's just one part of my business. I have 30 of those every single month, and then I have, you know, tons of businesses. I do a lot of lending, a lot of transactional lending for people that need to double close and other stuff. And then a lot of fix and flip loans to people in Atlanta.
Right.
And, you know, I always have new businesses going. I have, you know, different multifamilies, a lot of commercial properties, a lot of buy and holds. And I just stay busy. And I have, you know, that's why I have so many partners. I can't do it all myself. And without having the right partners, you know, my businesses would collapse. So
it's like leveraging time.
Yeah, leveraging time. And, you know, I could make, let's say, $1 million a year doing everything myself, but I can't grow. Right. Or I could, you know, make $250,000 a year on, you know, a bunch of businesses, and maybe I could have 10, so I can make $2.5 million instead of $1 million, you know? So I don't own a big percent of, you know, any one, but I could do so many more and all together. And I'm able to have a lot less pressure and stress because I could now focus on what I'm good at and what I enjoy. Right. So all my partners do what I don't enjoy and what I'm not as good at.
Right.
And typically what you're not good at, you're not going to enjoy as much.
And you're not going to do it. You're going to procrastinate or something.
So every business I have, the components that I don't like to do, I find a partner that really likes to do that. And my partners don't like to do what I do.
Right.
So it works out perfectly.
That's awesome, man. That's all. I'm so grateful for your time. I don't want to take up any more. I know like you're busy.
Well, let's get out of here then.
But you're awesome.